What's up guys, this is Seth from Tech Shift. Today I'm going to give you a part 2 video on my experience with the Dvorak keyboard. Now in this video I'm actually going to show you with examples on what I was talking about earlier. So what I'm going to show you right now is a quick demonstration of a typing test, a typical typing test on 10 fast fingers, and I want you guys to pay attention to the rhythm, and we'll compare it to Dvorak, we'll compare Dvorak to Qwerty in a bit. So I'm going to begin the test and I'm going to show you the results. Okay, and on this test, I'm just going to show you real quick. If you can see that, it says about 75 words per minute with 374 keystrokes. So that's pretty typical of what I would normally get on a typing test. Not to say that that's blazing fast or anything, but that's just pretty typical in my opinion. And one thing I want to talk about is if you want to type comfortably, you got to be in a comfortable seating position, which I am not in. I'm actually kind of slouched over because I have the camera here, and I'm not sitting up straight. And obviously I have the pressure of the camera, but you know, all in all, I think that was a pretty well done test. So let me switch over to the Qwerty keyboard layout, and I'll give you a quick, I'll redo the test, and I will try my best to be as efficient and as fast as I can. So let's begin. I am not a Qwerty typist and I am already making errors. What I'm doing right now actually is I am looking up and down because these keys, the position, I am not familiar with. So please bear with me. I'm trying to do this test as unbiased as possible, but that's what you get when you get comfortable with a layout. And after I finish this test, I'll talk a little bit about what my points were in my previous videos. Okay, I did 23 words per minute with 134 keystrokes. So I'm not even going to bother showing you guys that. Just please take my word for it. That was pretty bad. Without the camera, and if I was in more comfortable seating position, I could probably hit 30 words per minute, and that's looking up and down, of course, which is still pretty bad. I want to talk about finger dexterity. Now, we all have a main hand and a weak hand, a dominant hand and a weak hand. And my dominant hand, as I said earlier in my previous video, is my left hand. I can't do as many things I can with my right hand. So typing on Dvorak was kind of a challenge because I had to relearn how to use certain finger positions that were uncomfortable for me. As I was learning Dvorak, I noticed that typing L's, which were right here, where the P is, is actually pretty difficult for me. And also typing the S, which is right here. I would strain myself typing these letters, and these are actually very common letters to type. So if you're right-handed, you will get used to that, but if you're left-handed like me, it'll take some time to practice and be comfortable with that. But in the end, you will get comfortable with it. It just takes, like anything else in life, it'll take practice. One thing I want to mention is typing certain words, certain TH words like the, there, through, do. These words are actually very, very easy and very fun to type on Dvorak. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. TH is right here. TH. TH. And OU is right here. OU. OU. So if I'm typing through, THROUGH. THROUGH. Now, why is this important? Why am I even talking about this? Well, the reason for that is these are very common letters to type. TH, THE, THERE, THROUGH. And the point I'm trying to make is, on the Dvorak keyboard layout, it's very easy to roll your fingers. Now I want you guys to practice right now. You put your finger on the keyboard and start rolling your fingers. It's actually very easy to do this. Now try to do it the opposite way, like that. And it becomes very awkward. See, I can also do it with this hand. But if I do it the opposite way, it becomes very uncomfortable. Extremely awkward. One thing that Dvorak has taught me is to use all my fingers. When I was learning Dvorak, I had to be on the home rows. Pretty much all the letters that I needed to type were here. And that made learning Dvorak pretty difficult, because when I was typing on Qwerty, I pretty much only typed with a handful of fingers, just pretty much these three or these two. My index finger, my middle finger, and I use my thumb to hit the space, just because these are the strongest fingers. And when I started learning Dvorak, I had to utilize my ring finger and my pinky finger, which first of all, they're not as strong as these fingers. So when you're trying to type on them, you get strained instantly, especially when you're starting out. But after a while, you get used to that, and everything becomes easier, just like anything else in life. You practice and you get used to it. One thing I want to show you guys is my lack of dexterity on my right hand. So as you can see, I have pretty good dexterity on my left hand because I'm left-handed. But on my right hand, seems like this finger is joined with my ring finger, and I cannot move it independently. And if you try this yourself, you'll be surprised at how retarded these fingers are, that you can't separate them for some reason. Well, if you're left-handed, it'll probably be right here, but I can separate them fine. I can control them independently, but with this, I cannot. And it's kind of interesting once you really start to think about it. Once you realize that you kind of have a handicap on your fingers, it's kind of funny. It's kind of humbling, actually. I also want to make a point I made earlier about phones. So if I'm on my phone, as you can see, it's on the Qwerty keyboard layout. Right there. And I can type in Qwerty fine. So as you can see, I'm typing on Qwerty, and I don't really have any slowdowns, or I don't forget where all the keys are, because typing with my thumbs is completely different from typing like this. So the action is completely different. Muscle memory still retains when I'm typing like this compared to typing like this. I can type Dvorak just fine like this, and I can type Qwerty just fine like this, but I can't type Qwerty like this. I forget where the keys are and I stumble. That's because you're training your thumbs to move a certain way versus you're training your hands to move a certain way. And the layout's still the same, I suppose, but that's just how I notice things. And if you notice that in certain phone technologies, they're coming up with different methods of inputting. Rather than typing like this, a lot of software like Swipe and Swift Key are now using lines where you pretty much make a line dot to dot and spell out words. And that's a completely different from typing. That's completely different from thumb typing. Just the input method is different. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. I'm going to end it off by giving you some more typing footage. Please like, favorite, and subscribe.